This is not the type of news I would love to share, but at the same time, it is very important that I share this news so you can prepare yourself, especially if you're thinking of moving to the UK as a care worker. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fajira if you're joining me for the very first time. I just want to say a warm welcome to you. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. Thank you for sharing my videos. I really do appreciate. It's actually been a while I haven't filmed a video with my face because I've been sick, but I'm grateful to God that I'm a lot better now. And I just want to use this opportunity to say thank you to everyone who checked up on me, to everyone who prayed for me. I am really grateful. One of the things that can happen to a content creator is having a problem with your eyes or your voice, of which I had one. As you can see, this is gradually coming down, and initially my eyes were really swollen, the left eyes, and I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't even look at my screen. So to everyone that said, "Oh, Fajira, I've messaged you, you haven't responded," guys. Even till now, I'm really struggling to look at my screen because that eye is still hurting me. Thank you very much for checking up on me. I'm so grateful just to know that I've got people that really care about me. Really gave me so much joy and actually made me to feel well on time. So this is the first video I'm filming, like, to show my face in the past 2 to 3 weeks, and I wouldn't have filmed this video, but I think it's very important that I bring this to my channel because I have a lot of people on this channel that rely on the information I share, and this is not a too good news. But I should film this video quickly so my viewers and my subscribers can actually start preparing themselves. If you haven't started preparing your documents or any other means that you want to relocate to the UK as a care worker, you have to do that now because the UK government is looking at putting more strict rules to this pathway. And we know, like you know, and I also know, that this pathway has been abused by a lot of people, consciously and unconsciously, which is not really good. And the UK government is very much aware of it, and they are looking at making it more difficult for people to migrate to the UK. At the same time, from one of the articles I read, they are actually looking at bringing it to an end. So if you've got relatives who are still trying to move to the UK, please do like and share this video with them so they can prepare and start making their way to come to the UK as a care worker. Like we all know that the care worker visa was officially launched on the 15th of February 2022, and a lot of people have actually migrated to the UK through that pathway because it is cheap. If you have been following me on this channel, you will know I'd always talked about that. The care worker visa is very easy and very affordable for a family to move to the UK than any other route. That's because the government has subsidized the visa fee. The government have written up the IHS. So imagine if you have a family of 6. Normally, IHS for 3 years is a minimum of £2,000. So if you have a family of 6 and you're coming on the health and care worker visa, you are looking at paying about £12,000 for all of the IHS. But the government have written it off, which has made a lot of people to migrate to the UK, both the qualified and the unqualified carers, which is causing all of this drama now. So just as you can see on my screen, this was published on the 24th of September 2023. Sunak urged to limit legal migration as winning policy for election campaign. So this is what the ministers have been talking about. They really want that to be cut down. So ministers want to tighten the rules for the health and care worker visa, so poorly qualified applicants cannot bring dependents with them. This is just to say that a lot of people who have moved to the UK, like you and me, know that a lot of them are not actually qualified carers. So even while they go for their shifts, they cause a lot of trouble. Trust me, they cause a lot of trouble. I've heard a lot of cases. Not all can be shared on this channel. Rishi Sunak has been urged to make a crackdown on legal migration a key plank of his plans to check up policy. The Home Office has put forward plans for foreign care workers with poor qualification to be blocked from bringing family members to the UK. All you need to have to move to the UK as a care worker is your IELTS or your ETIS. Now, if you do not have ETIS and you're able to write IELTS and you pass your IELTS, it is very easy for you to move to the UK, which made it very easy for even people that are not graduates, even people that have not been to schools before and they manage to pass their IELTS, they get the care worker visa because that is one of the requirements for you to be able to move to the UK as a care worker. Ministers want to tighten the rules for the health and care worker visa, which allows migrants to move to the UK to work in social care and bring dependents with them. We all know that if you're coming to study in the UK, you're not allowed to come with your dependents. And I'm thinking that that's the same thing they're about to do with the healthcare workers, especially when you have a dependent that does not have any qualification, or if you are not even qualified, you're not allowed to even get the visa. So as you can see, there have been growing concerns inside the Home Office that the visa route is being abused. Fears that can be reviewed via linked documents seen by the Telegraph. So as you can see, Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary, and Robert Jarrick, the Migration Minister, to act on Swahili legal migration and have been urging Downing Street to do so. But the Prime Minister has put more focus on tackling illegal migration in the small boats crisis, knowing that foreign workers can help deliver his promise to grow the economy. Possible dates for tightening rules. Home Office figures have earmarked November 2023 when new net migration statistics will be released as a possible date for announcing tighter rules on legal migration. So we are looking at November now. This is not to say the care worker visa is coming to an end by November, but if you are planning to move to the UK now, please do everything you know you can to be here, because if you're here before November, whatever the new rules you're looking at putting in place is not definitely going to affect you. So if you have been thinking of moving to the UK, this is September, October, November is not really far from now. So please start getting ready. Tell your family members, if you already have family members you're trying to help, tell them to start getting ready, and also share this video with them so they will know what is happening. Earlier in 2023, it emerged that annual net migration had hit 600,000, 6 times higher than David Cameron's pledge to bring that figure below 100,000. So Home Office insider predicts the next net migration figure will drop a little, given fewer Ukrainian and Hong Kong refugees have been arriving, but it could still be around 500,000. So as you can see, Mr. Sunak is being urged by the Home Office counterparts to make legal migration the next election dividing line with Labour, after the Prime Minister delayed or diluted a string of net zero moves. The health and care worker visa was introduced in August 2020, but more have been granted than was initially expected. Remember that this visa was introduced then, it was just the senior carers and nurses and so on that can use that pathway to the UK, but in 2022 the care workers were added to the health and care worker visa, which is now causing all the drama, as you can see. Internal government estimates predicted around 8,000 visas would be issued, but instead there have been more than 50,000 each person on average moving to the UK with another dependent. As you can see, the Prime Minister has previously introduced tougher rules for how many migrants can bring dependents, such as relatives, when they move. Earlier in 2023, the Home Office announced all foreign students, except those doing postgraduate research, would be barred from bringing family members to the UK. Like, you know, this is going to take effect in the next 3 months, which is from January. You cannot come with your dependent if you're coming to the UK to study for masters, except you're coming to study for PhD. And like, you also know that if you're a student and you have not graduated, you are not allowed to switch. So these laws are laws that just come in place, which is why I always advise my viewers, my subscribers, that whatever you're doing, just go straight and do it, because once you're in the UK, there are certain laws that will be passed that you will not, or you may not be affected. Doctors, nurses and care professionals, government figures involved in the proposals believe that a similar change for those on the health and care worker visa would be justified. So as you can see, the visa allows doctors, nurses and adult social care professionals with the offer of a job from an approved employer to move to the UK, but we know a lot of companies do not even have the hours. That's why this is causing so much drama. Recipients of the visa can bring their partner and children with them as long as they have met certain criteria. If the early stage plans were implemented, it would mean those with poor qualifications would be blocked from bringing anyone with them, affecting many but not all the applicants. So just as you can see, you have to start doing some of your care courses, which is why I always advise my viewers, my subscribers, that if you're planning to move to the UK as a care worker, you need to do some voluntary jobs. You need to also do some care courses. You can try Academy, Florence Academy, and other websites so that you can be prepared just in case you're stuck to ask the role of a carer. You already know. So with that, if they ask you and you know everything you're coming to the UK to do, I don't see any reason why your visa will be refused. You need to be more prepared now, because they know that. I think I had a story about some people that came to the UK and they can't even speak English, and even their interview, when they asked them, they said they were not interviewed, and this is also causing a lot of problem as well. So you need to prepare yourself. So just in case you're stopped at any point, maybe at the border or maybe during your visa application, you already know what you're doing. The plan is set to face criticism from the social care sector, which has long been belated by worker shortage. Tougher rules could make it even harder to fill vacancies. But leaked documents reveal that dozens of social care providers have had their licenses suspended for bringing in unqualified care workers, which is what I just said. So in one of the papers seen by the Telegraph, Home Office officials expressed concerns that since the addition of the care workers to the health and care worker visa route, the route is more easily exploited and misused by illegitimate sponsors than other visa routes. Since the addition of care workers onto the list of occupations where Britain has a shortage, the UK Visa and Immigration Quago has investigated 260 other social care providers. This has led to the suspension of 109 sponsorship licenses, with 48 providers issued with advisory concern and 39 having their licenses revoked entirely. So if you notice, a lot of carers are now in the UK, and most of their companies, their licenses have been withdrawn. And once the licenses have been withdrawn, the Home Office may send a letter to say, okay, look for another sponsor, or you leave the country in 60 days. This is very common now, as a lot of care homes are losing their license. So if you watched my previous video, I had already uploaded how you can search for a company that is still licensed to sponsor, and most of these companies, you will find them on the licensed sponsored list. So once you are in maybe a recruitment process with any care organization or any company, if you want to find out, you can do that. And once you see that the license is still active, then you're good to go. But if you notice that the license is removed or suspended, know that it's either they are undergoing some sort of investigations, or maybe they're on suspension. So you have to be aware of that before you continue whatever you're doing with them. I'll leave that video in the description box and also in the pinned comment, so you can watch that video and see how to find out companies that are still licensed to sponsor from overseas. Roundtable meeting to discuss the crisis was held in July, attended by officials from the Home Office, UKVI, the Department of Health and Care bodies. Delegate had concerns that many of the new care workers were not fully trained in social care, potentially putting the elderly at risk. There are increasingly concerns about continuity of care for elderly people, because so many are suddenly losing their carers when a license is revoked. Now, a document summing up what was discussed at the roundtable said Home Office officials voiced strong concern about the care visa route itself and misuse by non-care entities. So a lot of companies now, what they do, they just register their care companies, and most of them do not even have hours. And all they do, they go to apply for a license, and once they get it, they sponsor a lot of people to the UK, which is why I think the Home Office and the UK government is actually looking into this to see how they can put a control over this. This is partly due to the fact that care workers and senior care workers are not required to have formal qualifications and require a lower English language level for employment in the UK, which widens the pool of individuals who are eligible for this visa route. Like I earlier mentioned, that if you are applying for the care worker visa, you just need to have a minimum of 4 in your IELTS in each component and overall band score of 4. Whereas if you're going through other routes and not the care one, you need, I think for innovator founder visa, which I filmed a few days ago, you need a minimum of 5.5. But with the care worker visa, it's quite easy. Like I would say, the government made it really easy for people to use that route to the UK. But to be honest, yeah, it's been abused. That is why you can see all of these reviews and documents about them. So I just hope this is not going to stop in November. Fingers crossed anyway. A separate briefing papers revealed that a number of sponsors were removed from the register between June and August 2022 in what was called Operation Ransom. Why is the Operation Ransom investigation has now concluded. Evidence which has emerged subsequently makes clear that the cases in scope of the operation are by no means isolated incidents. The document said there have since been further sponsors, homes, and care agencies identified for failing in areas either through omission or neglect, and similar issues of non-compliance have been found. So major concerns about continuity. Among the main area of concern was the candidates were unsuitable for the role, which is why I said you have to be prepared, because you could be interviewed at any stage, maybe at the point of entry, during your biometric appointment, you could be interviewed. So just as they say, unsuitable for the role, has no background in similar work, and had limited knowledge before coming to the UK about what their employment entails. So I think if you had been following me, there was a video I filmed about having a different experience on your CV and you're coming in as a carer. You have to check that and make sure that whatever experience you have on your CV is that of a carer if you're coming in as a carer. There are major concerns about the continuity of care when providers have their license revoked. This has a huge implication on service users when care packages are not able to be fulfilled. For instance, Home Office have revoked a lot of licenses. Now, those that their licenses have been revoked cannot work for the organization again, and the people they are looking after are the ones that actually suffer it even more than the carers. So this is also a concern which they are saying. Supporters of the plan argue a balance must be struck between supporting the industry and bringing down overall net migration. So as you can see, Tories MPs have previously called for a similar route change, including the New Conservatives, a new group of Tories MP first elected after the Brexit referendum in 2016. The group made tightening the health and care worker visa rules one of its central policy requests, which is launched back in May 2023. On Saturday night, a government spokesperson said, "We strongly condemn offering health and care worker visa holders employment under false pretense," which is what I earlier mentioned, that some of these companies do not really have the hours, but they give you the job and you come, you do not even have anywhere to work and you get stranded. So I'm sure the Home Office is very much aware of this, which is why this is coming up here. So as you can see, the government does not tolerate illegal activity in the labor market, and any accusation of illegal employment practice will be thoroughly looked into. Those found operating unlawfully may face prosecution or be removed from the sponsored register, which I earlier mentioned that most companies now are losing their licenses due to this. So this is just what it is. A new statistics will be launched in November. We don't know when, but I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Once I see, I will definitely share with you. But if you're one of those who have been looking for a way to move to the UK, please do all you know you can to do that before November, because we don't know if the UK government will just wake up and say, okay, we are going to stop this, just like they did with the study visa coming with your dependent. We don't know what is going to happen. I'm not saying you should be scared or you should panic, but just have an open mind that anything can change at any time. So try your best and see how you can get yourself to the UK. So guys, this is just what it is. I thought I should come and share with you. Like I said, don't panic. Be more focused, be more intentional now. Look out for care with jobs like you've always been doing. I uploaded a video recently on how to even check the care companies on the license sponsored list. Call them and see if you can get a space there. We have to wait till November to see what rules, what is going to change, which we are not yet aware of, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a positive one and not a negative one. So guys, we've actually come to the end of this video. Please do like and share with your friends and loved ones if you find this video helpful, and until I see you in my next video, guys, do take care and have a lovely day. Bye bye for now.